The Tale of Two Brothers. Anubis, elder brother, and Bada, younger brother. Anubis possesses a house as well as a wife, and he was associated as a father to his young brother, Bada. Bada served Anubis. He, Bada, had prodigious strength and the power to understand animals. One day as they were plowing, Anubis sent Bada back to the house for more seed. The wife was smitten with mighty Bada and tried to seduce him. Then the youth became like an upper Egyptian panther in harsh rage over the wicked proposition that she had made to him, and she became exceedingly fearful. He told her, "You are associated with after the manner of a mother, and your husband is associated with me after the manner of a father. What means this great offense which you have said to me?" He added, "Don't say it to me again, and I shall tell it to no one, for I will not let it escape my mouth to anybody." Then he picked up his load and went off to the field. At evening time, Anubis went home and left Bada tending his cattle and would load himself with all produce of the field and bring back his cattle before him to let them spend the night in their stable, which was in town. Anubis' wife was fearful of the proposition she made with Bada, so she faked a beating, swallowing rancid fat to induce vomiting, and when Anubis returned home she told him that Bada had raped her. Then Anubis became like an upper Egyptian panther, and he had his spear sharpened and placed in his hand. He stood in the door of his stable in order to kill his younger brother upon his return in the evening to let his cattle enter the stable. The cow warned Bada about the plan of Anubis in killing him, saying, "Look, your elder brother is standing in wait for you bearing his spear to kill you. You shall depart from his presence." He looked under the door of his stable and observed his elder brother's feet as he was standing behind the door with his spear in his hand. He hastened to run off in flight, and his elder brother went in pursuit of him, carrying his spear. Bada prayed to Ra. Then Ra intervenes and draws a river full of crocodiles between Bada and his pursuer. From the far side of the river Bada protests his innocence. And to prove his claim he calls Ra to witness and castrates himself, penis and all, casting the genitals into the river, and the catfish swallowed it and grew weak and feeble. Anubis is thus convinced of his innocence. Thereupon Bada weakens and seems to depart this life, journeying to the Valley of the Pine, telling his brother that he must come to resurrect him when a sign appears. When Anubis finds that beaker of beer produces froth in his cup, and when he takes wine and it sours, he will know that Bada has perished and he must go to save him. For Bada will take out his heart and lodge it in the pine flower at the top of the tree. When the sign comes to him, Anubis must go and find the heart and restore it to life in a basin of water. Anubis returns home, kills his wife and gives her carcass to the dogs. Bada in the Valley of the Pine is blessed by the Ennead. On order of Re, Khnum fashions for Bada a wife of supreme beauty, the ichor of every god is in her. Then he proceeded to covet her exceedingly while she was dwelling in his house, and while he spent all day hunting desert game, bringing it back, and putting it down before her. He told her, "Don't go outside lest the sea carry you away, for I will be unable to rescue you from it, because I am a female like you and my heart lies on top of the flower of the pone tree." Nonetheless she ventures out, the tide surges around her and captures a tress of her hair, that snagged on the pine, and the sea then carries the tress back to Egypt. There the fragrance of the tress so permeates the waters that the clothing of Pharaoh becomes scented from washing in it. Pharaoh learns from his scribes that tress belongs to a daughter of Ra, in whom is the ichor of every god. So he sends out envoys to search for her. She is found in the Valley of the Pine and brought back to Egypt. There she delights the king and demands that he send soldier to cut down the great pine, wherein is the heart of Bada. The next day when Anubis takes his beer, it produces froth. He also takes wine and it sours. So, recognizing the sign, he sets out for the Valley of the Pine. There he finds Bada's body and searches 3 years for the heart. When he has nearly given up he finds it, puts in a basin of water. And as the heart soaks the water, the body of Bada takes life and twitches. Anubis gives him the basin to drink, and his heart is restored. The two brothers are reunited. Then by Bada's plan, they journey to Egypt, Bada himself disguised as a great bull, Anubis riding on his back. Pharaoh is impressed and honors Anubis. But Bata the bull reveals himself to the wife, now wife of Pharaoh, and she contrives to have him slaughtered by tricking Pharaoh into a promise. She demands, "Let me eat the liver of this bull." At his slaughter 2 drops of the blood soak into the earth at the doorposts of the palace, and there 2 great persea trees spring up, one on either side. Again Bata, now in the persea tree, reveals himself to the treacherous wife. And again she tricks Pharaoh into promising, now to cut down the trees and make furniture for her. But when the trees are felled, a splinter of the wood flies off and lodges in her mouth, and she becomes pregnant from it. Pharaoh dotes upon the child as his son. He, Bata incarnate, rises to be crowned prince. When Pharaoh dies, the new Pharaoh Bata triumphant condemns the treacherous wife and mother. He elevates Anubis to crown prince. And after his reign of 30 years, at Bata's death, Anubis succeeds him.